What if you're not who you think you are? What if everything you believe about yourself is just a thought, and beyond it lies pure freedom? Mooji before I am, full book summary. In a world obsessed with identity, with labels, careers, achievements, and the endless story of me, there comes a rare voice that dares to whisper, "You are not this story." That voice belongs to Mooji, and his timeless book, Before I Am, is not a guide to self-improvement. It is an invitation to dissolve the very illusion of self that you've been trying to fix all along. This is not a book you simply read. It's a book that reads you. It stirs something ancient and wordless within. Mooji doesn't hand you answers. He peels away every question until you're left with the only truth that matters, the silence that was there before the mind, before the body, before even the thought I am. In today's chaotic world, full of noise, identity crises, mental health struggles, spiritual confusion, and hyperego, Mooji's words are like cool rain on burning skin. His teachings speak to the one in you that is untouched, unbothered, and ever free. The you that is before the personal I. This video is not a summary. It is a mirror, a reflection of the stillness inside you that's been patiently waiting beneath the turbulence. And if you truly stay present through every word, not as a listener, but as awareness itself, something irreversible might just awaken. Now take a breath, let go of the thinker, and enter into the silence before I am. You are the awareness, not the person. Mooji's core message is radically simple. You are not the person. You are the awareness in which the idea of the person appears. The person, your name, your history, your wounds, your dreams, is just a bundle of thoughts and conditioning, like a cloud drifting through the sky of your being. But who is watching that cloud? Who knows I had a thought? That witness is you. Right now, pause and close your eyes. Watch your thoughts for 30 seconds. Don't judge, just watch. Then ask, who is watching these thoughts? Don't answer with the mind. Feel into the silence. That's you. The realization is subtle, yet world-shattering. You don't need to become peaceful, you already are. You don't need to heal the story, you need to stop identifying with it. You are not in the movie, you're the screen it plays on. The ego is a phantom tenant. Mooji calls the ego a phantom tenant living in the house of being. It has no substance of its own. It borrows your attention and pretends to be you. But the moment you look for it directly, it vanishes. This is the great joke. We suffer our whole lives for something that doesn't actually exist. The ego is not the enemy. It's a misunderstood character, only dangerous when believed. When you feel angry, sad, or fearful, ask yourself, to whom is this emotion arising? Then ask, can I find that person it's happening to, or is it just happening in presence? Mooji invites you to look not with your eyes, but with your being. He doesn't tell you what's real. He points you to look again and again until the false falls away on its own. Don't touch the I thought. The mind is constantly trying to do something about enlightenment, but Mooji's medicine is paradoxical. Don't touch it. Don't try to fix the I. Don't try to perfect the ego. Just see it for what it is, a thought pretending to be the whole truth. There's a space before the I thought arises. That space is where freedom lives. You don't have to get there, you're already it. When the mind says, I need to figure this out, stop. Don't argue, don't fix. Just say, who is this I that needs to figure it out? Then rest. Let the question dissolve in the silence it came from. This is not spiritual bypassing. It's the end of unnecessary war. You don't need to become awakened. You need to stop pretending to be asleep. Be the sky, not the weather. Your emotions, your thoughts, your moods, they come and go like weather, but the sky remains. Mooji reminds us that we are not what changes. We are the changeless space that allows change. Anger may arise, fear may pass, joy may visit, but none of these define you. You are the container, the vastness. The still, wordless is-ness where all experience dances. I am not the mind. I am not the body. I am the aware presence in which they arise. When we stop personalizing our emotions, they lose their grip. This doesn't mean you become cold or numb. It means you stop drowning in waves because you remember, you are the ocean. Thoughts are visitors, not the host. Most of the time, you don't think thoughts. Thoughts just happen like echoes in a canyon, like birds flying across the sky. Mooji reminds you, you are not your thoughts. You are the space in which they come and go. The problem begins not because thoughts arise, but because we believe them without question. A thought says, "You're not good enough," and you say, "Yes, that's true." But who agreed? Who signed that contract? When a stressful thought comes, ask yourself, is this thought true? Who is believing it? Can I find the one who believes it? Or is it just belief itself? Mooji's brilliance is not in giving you answers, but in breaking the trance. He guides you gently back to your natural seat, the effortless beingness that is never disturbed, no matter what thought visits. The power of non-reaction. One of Mooji's most powerful teachings is to stop reacting to every sensation, every emotion, every impulse. He says, don't touch anything with your identity. Just remain as the witness. Allow the storm to pass without trying to stop the rain. This is radical in a world where reactivity is normal, where we chase pleasure, flee discomfort, and constantly narrate our lives. But true freedom begins the moment you stop touching the mind's content and start resting as awareness itself. The next time something triggers you, take 3 deep breaths. Don't respond. Don't resist. Just watch. Let everything be without interference. Then gently ask, can this disturb who I truly am? When you stop feeding the mind with your identity, it quiets. And when it quiets, you begin to taste something extraordinary, peace without cause, joy without object, stillness that isn't earned but remembered. I am is the doorway, before I am is the truth. Many spiritual teachings guide you to the I am, the sense of presence, of being. Mooji honors this but goes even deeper. He asks, what witnesses even this I am? There is something prior, something subtler than presence, a formless knowingness that even the sense of being appears inside. This is where Mooji points, not to the I am, but to the before I am. Sit in silence, let the mind quiet, rest in the feeling I am. Then ask gently, what knows this I am? Stay in that, no thinking, just awareness looking into itself. This is not a concept. It cannot be grasped with logic. It must be tasted like silence tasting silence. And once it touches you, life will never be the same again. The true self needs no fixing. In self-help culture, we're always trying to become something better, wiser, happier, more spiritual. But Mooji flips the script. He says, your true self is not becoming anything. It is already perfect because it is not personal. There is nothing to fix because the you that feels broken is just a dream character. The awakened one is not a future version of you. It is the timeless awareness witnessing this moment, here and now. When you feel the urge to improve yourself, pause. Ask, who wants to improve? Then ask, is this one real or is it just a habit of thought? Mooji doesn't make you into someone better. He shows you that the someone was never there to begin with. And what remains when the false falls away is peace, stillness, and the unspeakable beauty of just being. Let me pause here for a gentle invitation. Every video shared on this channel is a sacred seed, a soft reminder that awakening is not a destination, but a daily breath. If you feel drawn to this path, consider joining us. Your one click, a simple act of subscription, helps this message reach more hearts, more seekers, more souls. And if you wish to go beyond this video and dive into the depth of Mooji's full transmission, the link to his book, Before I Am, is in the description below. Your presence and support help us bring more of these teachings to the world. The mind is a great servant, but a terrible master. Mooji often reminds us, The mind is not the problem, identification with it is. The mind is a tool, a servant. It can calculate, compare, create. But when it becomes the master, it creates suffering. Most people live in the mind stories 24/7. Thoughts become reality. Assumptions become identity. We forget who is watching the mind. Mooji's invitation is to place the mind back in its proper place, a helpful voice, but not the source of truth. Each time you hear a judgmental thought today, pause. Say silently, "Thank you, mind, I've heard you, but now I return to presence." Then breathe, rest in awareness. When you no longer believe every thought, the mind begins to settle. And in that stillness, the intelligence of being, far deeper than intellect, begins to flow effortlessly through you. Surrender is not weakness, it's the ultimate strength. In the ego's world, surrender is failure, giving up. But in Mooji's world, surrender is not defeat, it's freedom. Surrender is not saying, "I give up." It's saying, "I no longer carry what was never mine." True surrender is not passive, it's powerfully alive. It means resting in the unknown, trusting the deeper intelligence of existence, letting go of control while fully showing up for life. When things feel overwhelming, stop. Say gently, "I don't know what will happen, but I am here, I am present, and I trust being to guide me." Mooji's surrender is not about abandoning responsibility, it's about abandoning resistance. When you live surrendered, your actions become lighter. Your heart opens. Life becomes a flow, not a fight. Don't try to wake up, just stop pretending you're asleep. One of Mooji's most beautiful lines is this: "You don't have to become free. You only have to stop believing that you're not." This flips the entire spiritual journey on its head. Enlightenment is not somewhere you go. It's not a goal to achieve. It's the dropping of everything that is not you. The end of pretending. The end of the seeker. Ask yourself once today, if I stop trying to awaken, what remains? Don't answer. Just sit with the silence that follows. Mooji doesn't lead you to the mountain of truth. He pulls the curtain and shows you, you were always home. There was never a journey, only a forgetting and a remembering. Silence is the final teacher. Words can point, teachers can guide, but ultimately the deepest realizations are beyond language. Mooji speaks often about the power of silence, not the absence of noise, but the presence of truth. Silence is not emptiness. It is full, rich, alive. When you become still enough, Mooji says, you can hear your own being. You don't need answers. You don't need mantras. You need only this moment and the silence that holds it all. Take 5 minutes today to sit in complete silence. No music, no guidance, just sit, be, listen. Let the silence speak to you. This silence is not something to reach, it's something to recognize. And in that recognition, the illusion falls away. What remains is what has always been, your true nature, unchanging, unborn, eternal. So what remains when everything else is let go, when the stories stop, when the masks fall, when the seeker becomes still? What remains is you. Not the idea of you, not the history, not the thoughts or emotions, but the silent witness, the unmoving presence, the awareness that sees without effort and loves without attachment. Mooji doesn't give you something new, he removes what you're not. He clears the mirror until you see that the one you've been searching for is the one who's been looking. You don't have to get there, there's nowhere to go. You don't have to become awakened. You are already what you're seeking, just unclothed of illusion, unmet by distraction, and untouched by time. Now the question is not, how do I awaken? The question is, will you stay still long enough to remember? Let this be your call to presence. Spend 1 hour today without a role, a goal, or a self-image. Sit by a tree, feel your breath, watch your mind. Each time a thought arises, ask, who is this thought appearing to? Smile, let the thought go. Rest as the one who watches. The more you do this, the more you'll see. There is no journey, just the quiet, sacred recognition of what never left. Every video shared on this channel is an offering, a quiet spark meant to awaken what's already alive within you. If this message has touched something true in your heart, consider subscribing. Your presence helps us reach others who are still caught in the dream. And if you feel called to dive deeper into Mooji's timeless wisdom, you'll find the link to his book, Before I Am, below. Each purchase supports this mission of awakening and helps more souls remember their true home. Take a deep breath, feel your own presence, and begin the journey not forward, but inward. Thank you for spending this time with us. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your experience below. Your words may be the light someone else needs today. Let's walk this path together. Let's remember together.